Hi, I'm James from Enterprise IoT Insights. I'm at the Things Conference in Amsterdam. I am joined by Jongboom from Edge Impulse. Jan, lovely to have you with us.
Thank you, James.
And give us some background on Edge Impulse. I write about you a little bit. I know you've done bits and pieces with Nordic Semiconductor, this kind of stuff. Your mission is to democratize machine learning. Explain. Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm an IoT developer by trade, but I was really disappointed with what IoT devices really do. Like everything is a temperature sensor connected to the cloud. Just read a sensor, relay it. And I wanted our device to have proper eyes and ears, like actually understand the real world around us. So we founded Edge Impulse 3.5 years ago by now to build kind of the tooling around that. So an embedded engineer can come to Edge Impulse and build stuff with data. So you throw in pictures, or you throw vibrational patterns or current measurements. You tell us, hey, this was a fault, or this was a sheep, or this was an elephant trumpeting, and we'll figure out the math to approximate that. So it will help you write a better control loop for your firmware.
So Jan, I mean, you know, I was with Airbus a while back, and they talked about drills and how the drill has to not just drill but compute as well, and that was kind of in a kind of a manufacturing setup, you know, putting rivets into airplanes and this kind of stuff, and it sounded to me like a kind of a edge AI over 5G type of use cases. We're talking here about something completely different. We're talking about low power, constrained, battery powered kind of IoT networks. How does this work?
Yeah, so the way I see it, so your embedded device, your IoT device, like even the $2 microcontrollers or something you embed, actually have a lot of excess compute that we don't use at the moment. And we figured out, well, the best way to save power consumption or lower power consumption is by not sending anything over the network. So what if we say, well, all this analysis that you maybe want to ship over the network and do in a big cloud. What if we could do that analysis right on the sensor edge itself? It's by far the most efficient way of dealing with that. And we realized that, even a Cortex M4 microcontroller these days has can do 50 million operations a second, but mind blowing. What if we use that excess compute to just do that analysis right on the sensor? That's been super successful, and we see more and more companies utilizing that way, and that saves power, it saves network cost, it saves you a really big bill from your telco.
I mean, is there on the flip side a kind of an increase in the kind of BOM cost, for producing these IoT devices, or is that mitigated somehow?
So typically, actually, there's almost zero impact on the BOM, because what we try to do is use the excess compute here. So you already have an MCU laid down because you want to relay some information. That MCU is very often super underutilized, so we can run on brownfield devices as is, no change in MCU or anything other components required, and we'll use that. So yeah.
And Jan, talk about the other side up in the cloud. What's going on up there? Because you're going to be training the models up there. Sorry, there's presumably a bit of a headache with ingesting data. I don't know. I mean, explain what happens and how you're kind of resolving all of that.
Yeah, so I think a good distinction maybe to make is, if we talk about ML on these devices, it's about the inference side. So, running the model and then getting predictions out. The training we do in the cloud, and that indeed means that we need to get data from these devices routed there somehow. So a couple of ways that we do that. So we can, if you already have whatever your building management system, facility management system, and that already has data, awesome. We'll just pull the data in. If you have a UART, some UART port on your device, okay, awesome, we can put a data logger in and get data that way. But it's very custom type stuff. Like if you look at our most successful customers, they spend a lot of time building the data infrastructure out, so we have some tooling around that, but it's expensive, right? One of our large customers makes a ring to do sleep analysis. They've collected over 10,000 nights of sleep in a sleep lab to get that data in, and that's about $1,000 per night. Well, there's a really huge investment in this stuff, which is a challenge, but we'll help customers do that.
So I mean, and presumably the idea is here that use cases open up, right? I mean, this is you don't want ML for every IoT thing. There's but there are new things. Can you talk around what you're seeing, what's coming out in the market? You've mentioned a few there, but
yeah. So I think a cool part of what you can do with the Jimples, you can just go and sign up and go build without talking to any of our salespeople. So we have over 110,000 projects right now on a Jimples, which is just mind-blowing. And people build all kinds of really cool use cases. So without us even knowing. So all of a sudden we realized that people were using underwater microphones to track ship movements in a harbor. Amazing! Like I didn't even know you could do that. But awesome, someone built that. We do stuff. This commercial case with a customer around non-traditional cameras, so the event cameras, like stuff that Prophecy makes, rather than pixels, and get those streams of movement in. All kinds of stuff you can track with that. And the really interesting thing I think about building a community, as we do with the Jimples, but similar to what the Things Network is doing, is that all of these use cases are just like sort of being created from the community, and then the stuff that we think is super interesting, we can commercialize and work with commercial customers to bring it to success.
I mean, I think you have a reputation, Jan, for doing these kind of demos at this event, and I think you had Johan dressed up as a sheep at one stage a couple of years back. I've just sat in on one where you've set an ML model up in a couple of minutes with the audience. You know, is there a light bulb moment that you're seeing? Do you still see that, or are people more familiar with this now, and do they kind of accept it?
So you would think that, but no. Like there's about 3 million embedded developers in the world that target some device that needs to be embedded in something. And we only have 50,000 of them on a Jimples. So there's still 2.95 million people that we need to convince that this is the way to go build the next generation of intelligent devices. So hopefully this helps what we do today.
Jan, I'm being hurried along, but thank you for your time. Really exciting stuff. So thanks very much. Okay, cheers. Okay, okay, thanks everybody. We will be back shortly with Meshed. Thank you. All right.